Welcome to Digital Dominators, the podcast that helps small business owners grow their confidence, sharpen their digital skills, and actually enjoy showing up online. I'm Sooz Young, your host, tech coach, and digital cheerleader, and every week I chat with brilliant experts to bring you practical tips, smart strategies, and the tools and tech to make business easier. From social media marketing to websites, content to confidence, AI to automation, we're breaking it down into simple steps you can actually use. If you're ready to make things simpler and more successful in your digital world, you're in the right place. Let's get stuck in. Welcome back to Digital Dominators, the podcast where we unpack the stories, systems, and digital strategies that help you grow your business and your life. In today's episode, we're getting real about the journey of entrepreneurship. The ambition, the hustle, the wins, but also the sacrifices that so many people make along the way. Because here's what people don't tell you about running a business. Scaling your business shouldn't come at the cost of your health, your family, or your joy. And that's something I can resonate with personally. And that's exactly what the guests that I've got coming on today are here to talk about. Katie and Danny Bloomfield are powerhouse mentors, sought-after speakers, and the creators of your Wealthy Life Playbook, which is a framework that helps ambitious entrepreneurs build sustainable success without burning out or losing sight of what really matters. Through their work at Bloomfields Life, they blend deep strategic business know-how with grounded personal insight to help people build true wealth, not just in the terms of income, but in relationships, lifestyle, legacy, and personal fulfillment. They're not just teaching theory, they are living it. And in this episode, we're talking about how to grow a business that supports your life, not swallows it. From boundaries and mindset to automation and vision setting, Katie and Danny are here to share what it really takes to scale with soul. So let's get into it. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Hello.
Yeah, good. That's quite hard to follow, isn't it? When you give us an intro like that.
Yeah, we're done.
Always what people say is that when I read the bio, they're just like, oh my goodness, is that us? Is that what we do? And they're like, oh yes. So what I always like to get people to do is to reintroduce themselves. So tell us a little bit, tell us the listeners, tell me a little bit more about who is Katie, who is Danny, who are the Bloomfields, what's your life like, what's your business? Give us the sum up of who you are, what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll learn it over this next half an hour, however long this is. You'll learn that I normally just go like this and give it, and Danny will put it into very precise. That's just a different personality.
That's a good balance then, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Yeah.
And you get the truth all the time as well.
Yeah.
So Katie and Danny, we're husband and wife. We've been married for now coming up for 6 years.
Yeah.
Together for about 9. We've been in business for pretty much all of that time. Danny was in business before he met me. He'll probably tell you a bit about that. And we have scaled I think it now sits at around £10 million property business. That's value of the assets that we hold. Obviously, there's a lot of debt involved in there. Comfortable, good debt. We can go into that as well. And we've got 6 children. You mentioned the mentorship. We're mentors, coaches. We kind of blend all of that together. People don't need to be told what to do they? They need to be coached through some things. That's pretty much us in a nutshell. Have I missed anything?
No, I don't think so. I think thing about us, which we're really passionate about, Sooz, is family, business, hobbies, wealth. It's combining it all. So Kate's just given a great introduction of everything there. And needless to say, I'm not sure what keeps us more busy, the businesses or the 6 children, but we're kept on our toes.
I can only imagine, because before the call as well, 2 dogs popped up as well. So you've just got even more. I have enough with just 1 dog. So having 2, I don't even know how you do it with on top of the 6 kids and everything else as well. So wow, like even just hearing that back myself, it is such a powerhouse, the 2 of you together. And so have you found that actually your relationship has been the fundamental aspect to keep this all running together and having that kind of collaboration, community mindset around it all, is to be able to help keep everything
Yeah, I
together?
love that question, Suze,
Yeah.
because, I mean, so both of us have been married before. We came into the relationship with 5 children between us and then had one together. So the eldest is 22 and the youngest is 4. We both know what that feels like to not have the relationship in the right place. And we agreed really early on, didn't we, that our relationship had to stay the priority
Yeah.
because we're bringing a lot of people into this, and if we want them to buy into our vision, then we had to show them how we were living it, didn't we? I mean, we disagree occasionally, very occasionally, but when we do, we do it fairly, don't we? I mean, we always get asked still, are you newlyweds? Like, because you kiss like you're newlyweds, like, no, we're not. I don't know. Does it still class as newlyweds?
Yeah, why not?
Maybe.
Honeymoon period can last forever.
Yeah.
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 I think you're absolutely right, though. That our relationship has been fundamental in everything, because we realise that actually everything we do, we're at the core of it. We're starting it. We're not that that's an ego thing by any stretch of the imagination. I don't mean it like that. But if we're starting a business, then we're leading it and starting it. The family, with the children, with the parents, we're the leaders. We're the ones they're looking to for guidance and some vision and direction. So actually, us being strong at the core of it is really important. And we worked out really quickly, sort of, I guess, before we got together. Therefore, when we got together, we were still working some of this stuff out. But what does a really great relationship look like? And what does it feel like? What does it sound like? What does it look like? And how do we then maintain that? And it's sort of a process and a formula that we might come on to in a little bit, I'm sure. That we've replicated throughout all different life areas. But number one, the start of it has been our relationship. Yeah.
It sounds like that's the foundation of it all, that you've built everything on top of the
Yeah.
business, the mentorship, the helping others, because there's very much a sense of how can you help other people until you've helped yourself. And maybe the journey that both of you have been through together has kind of been a great combination to be able to then help other people. So let's talk a little bit more about what that kind of looks like. Tell us a little bit more about the business. So you've got quite a lot of things going on. So tell everyone a little bit more about what your businesses are, your structure. You don't need to go into the exact details, but just a bigger picture of what you do and how you help people.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah. Okay. So we've got a few different businesses in different industries, and we like that. We sold a business as well. So we've bought and sold businesses. We sold our last business our last sale of a business was just over about 15, 16 months ago as well, which was in another business. So we've been involved in online or offline businesses for a while. And at the moment, the two businesses we're really scaling is property business, where and again, that's split up into a couple of different forms. So we develop, we're developers. We've got some land that we're developing and building on at the moment. We're buying another piece of land, nearly 8 acres. We renovate large buildings or commercial buildings into flats or apartments as well to sell. So that's one part of the business. And then the other part is buying investment property to hold for long-term wealth building. And we're really passionate about building is a big part of us growing, building, development, improvement in life. So we've done that with ourselves. We're passionate about that with our family. And then our businesses, one is property. How do we build that and make something that's a bit of an ugly duckling into this beautiful swan for local communities to live in, whether they buy them or they live in and rent. And then, so that's the property side. And then in our personal development, high performance business strategist business, we're scaling that again at the moment because we sold a business where we employed 80 staff. It was a big logistical business. So we've now got space to really grow something else. And we're really passionate, as you've mentioned, about building growth, helping people, sharing what we've done and the benefits we've seen in our journey, and the benefits of helping people more casually, ad hoc along the way in a coaching and mentoring capacity. We decided actually we love this. We love leading. We love helping. We love teaching. So how can we help mentor and coach more people to see the benefits in their life that we've seen and some of our previous mentees and clients have? So yeah, we're speaking. We speak at events. We speak on stage. We coach small groups. We coach one-to-one. And it is really around a holistic approach of somebody's life. When you're involved in maybe a high performing CEO or a business owner, an entrepreneur, but you've also got a family that might include children or might not do. You're a son, you're a daughter, you're a friend, you're all of these life roles. You also want to love yourself and be able to do the things you want to do to bring happiness into your life. So how do you manage all of that to go to sleep fairly easily at night because you're comfortable and wake up full of excitement for the next day?
Yeah, I really like the fact that you've built almost like a philosophy around it all,
Mm,
haven't you? It's like
yeah.
you mentioned a little bit that kind of framework, that ideology that you've kind of created. So is that really what the Wealthy Life Playbook is all about?
So we were talking about this, weren't we? And what seemed to come up a lot was people talking about being wealthy. They wanted to build wealth. And when we sat and looked at what wealth actually meant, it's very rarely just about money.
Yeah.
It's very rarely just about money. So what we call a wealthy life has 5 areas. So your income, the money that's around you day to day, the money that you go shopping with or pay your bills with, etc. The money that you have incoming, your assets, what builds wealth, as in generational wealth, or maybe not even generational wealth, just lumps of cash, building for the future. A mindset, which we like to, it's a growth mindset. So, yes, we've got a lot of experience, we've got a lot of qualifications, things like that. But equally, we know that there's every day's a school day. We're never going to stop learning something about ourselves and about the world. Fourth one is health, because without our health, we've got nothing. All the money in the world can't save you if you in certain areas, can it? And then the fifth building block, if you like, is relationships. Relationships with those around you, your children, your parents, your friends, your partner, and most importantly, yourself. So those 5 areas are what we tend to focus on. So the Wealthy Life Playbook is a free asset that we give out to everybody. We like to be able to help anybody, regardless of, sort of where they're sitting at from a financial point of view. So the Wealthy Life Playbook has already helped hundreds of people, and we will continue to make that something that's free, because not everyone can afford to join a sort of small coaching cohort, or go one to one, or even sort of go on one of our strategy days. But equally, we want to be able to have the impact with anybody. So the
Yeah.
Wealthy Life Playbook is really sort of sits around like an introduction to us.
It's that starting of the building blocks, I think, for people to get them into that headspace, because it is really about mindset, isn't it? Everything that you do is all about mindset and the ability to change it, and
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
out of the concept of that it just happens this way. It's either black or white, yes or no. There's so much flexibility and ambiguity that is the first starting point, I think, of any business. Anything that you're going into, any approach that you take is about being able to be flexible in that mindset and being able to change it. So I love that you've got those kind of 5, what did you call it? Building blocks, but that's not really what it is. What did you call it?
Building blocks,
Yeah.
but 5 areas really. I
5
mean,
areas.
that sort of encapsulates everything that we sort of build and strive to build, I suppose, in everything that we care about. I mean, Danny likes to go to the gym most days, and I like to yoga peacefully most days. But I can do it with a 4-year-old climbing on my back. So, and sort of everything that's important to us. There's a lot of money mindset issues, even in the business world. There's a lot of money mindset issues. Money's the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on
Yeah.
trees. All the phrases that we've all heard. Money's actually a great thing, but it's just a tool. It's a tool. If we
Yeah.
use it the right way, we can do really cool things with it. And it's also a little bit perhaps seen as uncouth to say you want more money. It's okay. I want more money. You want more money?
Yeah.
Yeah. We all want more money because we want to be able to do more cool things with it, don't we?
Yeah, it gives you freedom, and I think that's where a lot of people feel stuck, especially with what's been happening over the last kind of 5 years. It's put people in a lot of difficult situations, and they go into the negative, the resentful, and
Absolutely.
they look towards the fear based of it, then going, where's the opportunity here, right? Where's the opportunity for development and growth? And that's the mindset, right? That's going
Yeah.
back to mindset of how can we change this into making it work
for us. And I always talk about mindset because that's what we do. We talk about a digital mindset. So it's using both the technical skills of these kind of, this is why this sits behind me, but it's also those essential skills like communication, collaboration, teamwork, all that ambiguity, integrity, all those things that make us human in this digital world. And I think that's transferable across kind of all businesses, all sector as well. The more human that we are, the more positive side that we can put on that, the better it will be. So what are the most common ways that you see ambitious entrepreneurs sacrificing what really matters when it comes to them growing their business?
Well, this we can get quite passionate on this.
Oh, good. I like that. Let's go into it.
Because so a lot of the time, what we were finding, this is why we sort of created this, wasn't it? So what we were finding, we've coached for a long time, one-to-one clients, etc. And people coming to us, the business is great, but my relationship's not. And what? Well, yeah, but I need to concentrate on my relationship. So the business then has to suffer. Or take now, summer holidays, for instance. We're recording this, summer holidays. People stop because you've got kids to deal with. Now, so all those areas that you're trying to, the plates that you're trying to spin, something has to stop, right? And we are very passionate that you actually don't have to sacrifice any. You can do it all, and you absolutely can have all of it and feel fulfilled in all areas, or all of those areas, when everything is sort of aligned and everything is collaborating as it should. It takes some practice, and we're not sitting here saying, oh yeah, it's easy, you can have everything, it's really, really easy. It's not. You have to work at it, but you have to work at all of the different areas of it. So that's how we kind of see things. People do sacrifice a lot. There's a lot of people that come to us and they, well, I've neglected my partner for 3 years because I was scaling the business, and now you're getting divorced, or and that was never part of the plan. That's not what we actually aim to do. So you're building up one thing, you end up actually flattening another, don't you?
As a creator, I used to spend hours re-recording voiceovers to get the perfect tone. But finding reliable voice talent, booking studio time, and editing takes forever, and it can break the bank. That's why I recommend 11 Labs. It generates ultra-realistic AI voices and even clones your own, all in seconds. With natural-sounding speech, multilingual support, and seamless text-to-speech conversion, 11 Labs powers podcasts, audiobooks, training modules, and more. No mic required. Ready to level up your audio? Try it free today at allmylink.me/TC11labs and bring your scripts to life with 11 Labs.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, rich and wealthy in one area or a couple of areas, and really poor in a few other areas. And it tends to be that either people have a great family life and personal life and healthy, but want to earn more money and don't have that side of it quite on point where they want to be, or the opposite. They've got a great business, they're earning good money, but everything's going haywire in the rest of their life, and they're unhealthy. They're never doing anything. They're eating poorly. They're drinking a lot. They might be smoking or vaping. They might be not exercising, putting weight on, stress, pressure. And I think it's something we were very aware of right from the start of our relationship, because we'd learn and we wanted to develop it, was actually we don't want to give up any of these areas. We want to be hitting a good level in all of them, because we want to be earning the amount of money we want to be earning to have the lifestyle we want. But we also want time together and with the children. And we also want to be able to go on holiday if we want to go on holiday and have the time to do that and be able to switch off. We also want to be able to finish at 3:30 when we pick one of the kids up from school and go to the park for an hour and not feel guilty about that. And all of these different things. So how do we do it? And it comes down to something that another framework that we utilize, and everything comes down to the acronym POWER. So P stands for purpose. So in each of the life areas, we look at them, Susan, we'll say, with our clients, and because it's what we did and what we've done multiple times with lots of different people, and it works, is, so what's your purpose? So in each of those life areas, we'll ask people to write down their purpose for each of the life areas. So for your income, what's your purpose? For your health, what's your purpose? And I'm juggling the order up here just to make it important.
I don't think it's
Relationships.
linear, is it though? It's not in a
No, it's
straight
not.
line,
It's
is
not.
it? No.
And everybody starts in a different one of those life areas, because there's a gaping hole in one of them, and that's the most urgent one.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, it tends to be growth mindset is always the first one, and then there's one other normally where the place to start, and they're different. But growth mindset's consistent because it's a mindset thing, right? If you're believing that you can't have success, whatever success looks like for you in each of those areas, well, it comes down to a limiting belief. So you don't believe that you can have a great relationship with a partner, be a really active parent if you've got children, and have a successful business and do something for yourself and stay healthy. So it comes down to those things. So P is for purpose. O is for organize. So how do you need to organize that life area? Get a plan, get organized to achieve your purpose. U is willpower. Have you got the willpower to see it through, the attitude, the commitment, and the resilience to see that through? E is for environment. What does your environment look like? So it might be somebody wants to have a great relationship, but they also want to go down to the pub till 11 o'clock every night, and they want to go to football every Saturday afternoon, and they want to do all of these
That's so
different
common.
things. Well, your environment probably that you're building isn't great to also have a great relationship, or relationship with other people other than who you're doing that with. And R is results. What results are we seeing? How do we then review them results, and what measurements have we got? What KPIs do we want to see for the results? And then it just loops back round. So are the results we're seeing, are they indicating to us that we're on track to achieve our purpose and going towards the North Star, the top of the mountain where we want to go? And actually it's quite a simple formula to follow, but if that just gets followed for every one of the 5 life areas we've talked about, those building blocks of your successful life, then it takes the thinking out of it. Once you've done that, it takes the guesswork. It takes the stress of having to remember every day of, oh, no, I forgot that I wanted to do this to be a better person in that life area or whatever, because you're structuring it a little bit better, and you're organizing yourself, and you're just thinking about all of the areas to A, get success, and B, reduce the risk of failure, for want of a better word, but things not going how you want it to go. And then, I mean, talking about failure, so results are showing we're not quite doing it. Okay, why? Let's go back into the P. Is the P right? Is it something we haven't quite organized? And, oh yeah, do you know what? I didn't think about my time. Did everything, but I didn't think about my time, and I'm spending way more time in that life area than I want to, and not enough now in this one. Okay, so what do you need to do with that? How do you reorganize your time? What does that look like? And if you can I think what we've found is when we follow this as a process and a formula and a philosophy, as you mentioned earlier, it can take some of the emotion out of it, which helps you think more clearly, because you're sitting down and you're thinking about it a bit more logically, and you're planning. I think Abraham Lincoln's famous quote, give me 6 hours to cut down a tree and I'll spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. This is sharpening the axe. That's all it is. So then when you actually go and do the work and you live your life, you're far more intentional about everything you're doing.
Mhm.
And that's a huge thing for us, intention. I think a lot of people sleepwalk through their life in certain life areas, and they're not intentional about it. They might just be ticking boxes or getting it done, or just not even thinking about a certain area because work's really busy and the business is thriving and doing great. So I'm not even going to think about that bit for the next few years. And then it goes to a pile of rubble, and you wonder why.
Mhm.
I think when we first start working with anybody in any capacity, and I mean, perhaps the listeners would like to maybe try this, but for each of those 5 areas that we call the building blocks, right? The areas in that wealthy life. What does a 10 look like? What does a 10 look like? And it's such a short question, but when you can really dig into it and see what a 10 looks like. I mean, the first time I ever tried to plan out what my 10 looked like, I cried. Like, because what do you mean? I can choose. I can choose. Can I choose? You know, that's it's quite a powerful thing, isn't it? What does a 10 look like? Income, in your income. How much money do you have coming in a month? And then how far off are you? Okay, now what are you going to do to build it? What are you going to do to get it where you want it to be? Why do you want it to be that much? Is it just an ego thing? Or is it because actually you've budgeted and you know what budget you want? You know how much you're spending on food every month, on subscriptions every month, on gym memberships or the car or gifts or children's activities. It might sound really anal. We know how much we're spending on every single thing that, or what the budget is. We might not spend it, we might go over, we might go under, because in the results, we'll look at it. And that's just part of like maybe a monthly tracker or something. Your relationships. What do your relationships look like? What is a 10 out of 10 relationship? Your health. What is a 10 out of 10? What do because if you're saying that you want to be healthy, okay, brilliant. What is healthy then? How much do you want to weigh? How much do you want to run? Do you want to exercise? What is it that you want to be doing? Because if you're telling me you want to be healthy, but then you're drinking 30 pints on a weekend and you're smoking like a trooper, you kind of not, and you're going to bed really late and like they obviously what you're putting in, what you get out, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what does a 10 out of 10 look like? That's where you need to start. For each of those areas, the income, the assets, health, mindset, and relationship, what does 10 look like?
There's so much to get into with all of that, and I absolutely love how you've actually pulled that together, not just with the kind of 5 areas, but also the process to be able to get there. And I know that you say, okay, we follow this process and it's achievable. But again, it goes back to that mindset, right? It does go back to that mindset of like, you've got to think that it can happen. You've got to believe that it can happen to do it. But there must be some other tools as well. So like habits, systems, processes, do they come into play as well? And are these things that you've done within your business world to then reflect across those 5 areas as well?
Absolutely. So the second, in the power framework, the O is organize. So how are you going to organize that? How are you going to organize your diary? I'm sure Danny will tell you about default diary, because I like a little bit of juggling around here and there, but Danny likes a very rigid, and it's not, no one said it was easy. We're never going to sit here and tell you it's easy, but how are you organizing your life? What habits do you want to embed in your life, and why? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Why do you want? I yoga every single day as a habit. Even on the days I can't really be bothered to do it, I will do it because I know that I'm nearly 42. And when I wake up at 50, I want to be, can I swear on this one? I was going to say, I'm going to be flexible as fuck. Right? I know that I want to be flexible at 50.
Flexible in body, flexible in mind.
There we are, right?
Yeah.
I want that. I want that peace, that movement to still go through my body. I know how I want to feel when I turn 50. So I'm going to yoga every single day for the next, well, I've done it every single day for the past 2 years, almost. There might have been a couple of days off, but that when you go back to purpose, well, why? Because I want to be flexible at 50. So even on the days I can't really be bothered, okay, but I know I want to feel like that. So they're the habits that I want to embed. And actually now, if I don't yoga, I feel awful.
Yeah.
So, within my body, just even if it's just a 10-minute session, and then it comes into the willpower and the environment, the people who you're surrounding yourself with, the energies the energy's contagious, isn't it? So contagious. I mean, people always talk about our relationship, don't they? And they say there's just a chemistry around you two. That is contagious. It really is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. When you're around, like all of us, anyone listening to this, Street Talking now, there's certain people we can think of straight away that when we're around them, our energy lifts.
Yeah.
And groups of
Radiators
people
and
even.
drains, isn't it?
And the opposite, absolutely. Yeah, correct. And I think it's just an awareness. This is the biggest thing with our process and system. It's being really intentional, having absolute clarity then about what you're trying to do and why, and being really aware of then, well, because of the clarity and because you're intentional, suddenly your awareness grows anyway. That's a natural knock-on effect. If I'm really clear about a life area and the purpose of that, and I'm going to be really intentional now, and I do something, I find myself in a situation that's not in alignment with that, straight away I'm going, right, hang on, why am I here? I need to do something different. Whereas before, without having that clarity and intention, probably carry on in that way where you don't want to be for another month, 2 months, and then something doesn't feel very good. Yeah, it is. So habits, systems, processes, they all slide into the power formula in the right moment. And the other reason we really like that is sometimes I think sometimes coaching change is overwhelming. If you want to create change in your life, it's hard. It's it's probably a lot less pleasant, but easier to start with to just carry on doing what you're doing or being who you're being. And it takes a lot of effort up front, but the changes are well worth it if you're really committed to it. So what we don't want to do is overwhelm people, which is why this is quite a nice method and in a good order to work through stuff methodically in a timely manner that's appropriate to whoever we're working with. And we can build habits in. So we love morning and evening routines. Like, what's the bookend of our day look like? If we can control our bookends, then stuff that goes on in the middle, we're a bit more okay with it because we've controlled how we're waking up and starting the day, and how we're going to bed. So that's a habit, for example. And you mentioned health. How many times you want to do this or that? So yeah, I think I love the E-Myth book.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've read
It's a
that.
great book.
Yeah.
And Atomic Habits as well is quite a good one as well
Atomic
for the
Habits.
habits.
Yeah. The Slight Edge.
Mm-hmm.
Some great books there, but the E-Myth one really hit home to me with a previous business that we had that was very logistical and it relied a lot on people. But the E-Myth, in theory, is all about the processes run the business and the people manage the processes. And so all we've tried to do here is, through looking back at what we've done, is go, hang on a minute, there is loads of processes here. We unintentionally, unknowingly built loads of formulas, loads of processes for different life areas. We built a system ourselves because we couldn't really find anybody at the time that was like us. And I'm not sure, there's loads of people like that at the moment still, where your whole life has the same level of importance. Any of those areas have the same level. We could find some unbelievable business coaches and mentors. We could find some really good life coaches. We could find some really good personal trainers. But having somebody to work with that, when you said, you know what, I can't do that until next week because I'm going out for a picnic with a family and that's really important to me on Friday afternoon. I'm having an early finish. Actually, in the business world is, well, listen, kid, you need to make some sacrifice here. The family can wait till next week and do it. Whereas that's really, really important to us. And those people that try and get hold of me, especially, I think sometimes, Kate's better on her phone than I am, but sometimes like, oh, I've been trying to get hold of you for a couple of days. You've been a nightmare to get hold of. Yeah, I've been like, I haven't really looked at my phone a lot because I've been with a family. We've been doing this, we've been doing that. I had a few meetings dotted in and around that were scheduled in. I'd scheduled to be off my phone for a couple of days. But how can I help you now? Like, what do we need to do? Where you're at? What's going on? Let's do what we need to do now. And I'm fairly unapologetic about that. Whereas before, I would have felt the pressure of, I've got to ring that person back. I can see them ringing, or I've seen that message. And then when I did speak to them, do you know what? I'm so sorry I haven't spoken to you. I should have come back to you sooner. No, I shouldn't. Because this is my agenda. I'm living my life how I want to live it, with my purpose. I'm organising it how I want to live it. And I'm being willpower in your environment. How do you want to be? Well, I want to be really disciplined. And at times, I'm not just going to jump on straight on something because somebody else wants me to, if that's not fitting into my agenda as the highest priority. Unless it's, let's not get silly about it. If somebody needs my help really quickly and I can do that, then I absolutely will, because I don't want to leave people unanswered for no reason. But equally, I'm very focused. We are, but in this scenario, very focused and got absolute clarity. When I'm with the family, I want to be with the family, and when I'm working, then I'm working. And if things cross over, that's absolutely fine, because that's real life balance. And our business and family lives do really cross over and interchange, and our world is just all bundled together, and it's beautiful and it works for us. But it's, how can I be present as often as possible with what I am doing at that time?
You're really living to your own system and your own values that you teach and you help others with as well. And a lot from what we've had in this kind of conversation already, and what I see as well in business too, is that The school system isn't really set up to teach us how to build the health, the wealth, the life that we want. And when we move into the business world, there's no guidebook to teach us how to run a business. And we end up getting ourselves in situations from our habitual past that we've dealt with in either work environments, in personal experiences and relationships, and financial impact as well when we make investments or don't make investments in the right things as well. And so when it comes to running a business, I find that it is time and practice that puts a lot of these, but also investing in people to be able to help you get to where it is that you want to go in it as well. What is it that you've found in your experiences? Because you've got a lot of experience individually as well as combined, not only personally, but also working with business owners as well. What are some of these things that you've seen and recognised, and how have you got people out of them when it comes to their business setup, for example?
We all have the same 24 hours in a day, don't we? We all have the same 24 hours in a day. And why is it that someone can get so much done and someone, I'm still stuck on that thing from 3 days ago? Why is that? Okay, let's look at your phone for a minute. Let's just look at your phone. Let's look at the statistics.
Yeah.
What apps are you spending your time on? And, that's a gentle call in nicely. What are you spending 3 hours watching your Netflix? Are you, and how much then do the things that you're saying matter, the things that you say you want, are your habits showing that? Because if I look at what you do in a day, and I mean like incrementally, let's break the day down, 24 hours in a day, that's 48, 30 minutes, 48 half an hours in a day. What are you doing for those 48 half an hours? Let's look at where they're actually going. Record them for a week. Let's actually look at where you're spending your time. Because then if you get those, how many hours are in a week? I don't know. How many hours are in a week? Somebody tell me.
I need to calculate that on the calculator. I know.
Isn't it weird that we just don't know how many hours are in a week? Anyway, how many hours in a week? What are you actually doing to move your business forward, or to move your business from here to here? And I think that, like, if you start with the awareness of it, some people don't realize what they're actually, if you own your own business, it's not just business hours, especially not to start with, especially not when you're scaling, right? It's not just business hours. You've got to be obsessed with it to start with.
It's going back to that passion, isn't it? That P for what are you passionate about? Why did you get out of the corporate world? Why did you set up your own business?
Yeah. So then if you're, but equally, no one's telling you, there is no job description. You're, chief cook and bottle washer, you're everything. So what are the jobs you are doing, and what should you be doing? And then where do you need to plug the gaps? Because, you don't have to be everything. You can outsource all those things, but what is it? What are you passionate about? What are you trying to do? Then if you look at where you're actually spending the time, okay, a little bit of awareness here, right? There needs to be some habitual changes, or, if you're stopping at 5:30 or 6 o'clock every day to sit and watch 3 hours of Netflix, or, whatever else it is. I can't remember the last time that we really watched. We don't watch TV that much, do we? But
just the kids shows a bit.
Yeah,
just whatever the kids are watching.
Yeah.
But no, I really love that it does really making ourselves accountable. You have to make yourself accountable as part of this, right? Really checking in with yourself and going, this is what you want. Are you actually doing this? Here's the evidence. Here's the results as your R and your power there that's showing that you either are or you're not doing it.
Yeah.
Come back to a bit about what do we see from business owners, some of our clients that we've worked with now and in the past, from what they've got from school or not got. Actually, some of it I think is unlearning.
Yeah, unlearning.
It's unlearning some of what we learned from school. For example, that the world doesn't always all have to be in a certain order and a certain way, and we are still, and I think it is changing, but we are still taught a little bit around. You go to school, you get your grades, you go to university, you get more grades, you then get a job, you graft as hard as you can for 50, 60 years, however long it's going to be now.
Get a mortgage, pay it off.
Get a mortgage, pay it off, get a decent pension, and then retire. And if you can get 10, 15 years after retirement without working, then you've you've done well. And I think that if you want to own your own business and you're going into business entrepreneurship, ownership at some point, it's breaking that out a little bit and going, okay, it's not going to be like that. And that's all right. And it's coming back to the power formula. What's the purpose? What do you want? What does it look like for you? And then working towards achieving that, because it's going to be different for everybody. But school teaches you that we should all be the same and we should all have the same grades coming out of it. And like, there's so many different jobs now. When you speak to somebody and you hear what probably 50% of the world are doing, when you leave school at 16, you're probably unaware
That was a job.
any of those jobs, that they're actually an opportunity to have a job in that.
And the future of work is
there's
changing
more.
as well.
It's changing. And, you know, the one of the biggest things is, at what point in our schooling, education life, are we actually taught and allowed to work smarter, not harder?
We're not, I don't think.
We're not.
No.
Now, think about with you, Sooz, technology. How smart can you work with technology now rather than working harder? You might have to work hard to set some of the technology up. AI is obviously absolutely going nuts at the moment and going to continue. There's loads of opportunity to work really smart and build certain businesses. Take longer than others to build up and scale. It depends what industry you're in and what you want to be doing. And neither's right or wrong. It's right or wrong for you and for us all individually. But some of these businesses now, with technology and working smarter, not harder, you can grow really quickly.
It's the
And you can
automation
reach a
in the
lot of people.
systems I find as part
Absolutely.
of it. And again, I think
Yeah.
that relates to what you talk about in all aspects and all those areas, is that if you understand what your habits are, if you understand how your systems are, like you talked about your systems in your business, it's the same with technology. If you know where you want to be, the systems, the tools get you there.
Yeah.
So it's
Yep.
understanding how the tools work and then having the mindset of curiosity, being ambiguous about it, being communicative about it, having great conversations. You have to have a great conversation with AI. You need to understand what you want your output to be able to have that conversation with it. So all of those human skills that we, again, don't really get enough of, really help us to be able to get enough out of the tools and the technology. So I assume you must have quite a bit of systems set up and technology in your businesses to be able to help them to function better. Is that right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, and that changes quickly as well, doesn't it? So actually, it's not a set and forget thing. I think with systems and technology now, is it? It's very much reviewing and what else is happening and how else can we add something. That comes part of our environment piece as well. Organize an environment where we link it together. So actually, what other systems can we bring in? What other automation can we bring in? What does our environment look like? We're just changing a couple of processes at the moment where a couple of the apps that we were using or are using still now do something else.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we were using, so that would take us down from 4 different software systems down to 2, because 2 of them do what the other 2 are doing, but we've got the main piece in these 2 over here. So we'll just stop using them 2 now and do that as an add-on. And that's sort of ever evolving, isn't it? Which is great. So I think we went from having 80 staff in one business. That wasn't actually that much fun for us.
Yeah, it's hard work.
And part of our purpose now, and something we're consciously aware of, and intentionally not building businesses to have large amounts of staff.
Yeah.
Systems is really important to that, because there's lots of automation, lots of working smarter that you can do with tech and systems.
That's
where
right.
we're not needing to recruit people as much. So yeah, lots of different tech, lots of different systems like we're using now. And things are evolving in terms of the quality of that tech as well, isn't it? Like now we've got mics on and we've got our AirPods in rather than just doing it through a laptop, which
That's
Oh,
right.
mind
2
you,
years
just
ago,
one each, like, just one each.
and soon
Just
there'll probably be a mechanism that soon with technology where we'll be able to both have a full set of AirPods in, and they'll both connect to just the one
We'll be doing it in
laptop,
glasses
maybe.
soon. Yeah, we'll
In
be doing it in
glasses,
glasses.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think, but that comes back to the mindset piece, doesn't it? Of being open-minded, being curious. You talked about curious, looking,
That's right.
being a student. Being a student, how can I learn more and how can I look at something? Again, a general, go back to the Abraham Lincoln one, spending 4 hours sharpening the axe. do we all as business owners and entrepreneurs have built-in thinking time into our diaries each week? Like where we just stop and we just think? Because it's at those moments that we all have when we're walking or we're in the shower or we're doing something that's mindless and we just stopped and we're thinking,
Yeah.
where you solve a problem or you have an idea and you go, because we've given our brain, our subconscious space to think and work out solutions for the challenges we've got. And that's where we can then keep developing and building our life and our businesses to be smarter.
Yeah, is it Brian Tracy that says if you're ever stuck on any problem, that you go and be somewhere completely silent with no distractions, and within 30 minutes, that solution will come. It doesn't matter what the problem is, but after 30 minutes, that solution will come. I know myself, that happens when I'm outside, usually when I'm in nature. There's something about the energy of nature that brings solutions, especially water, very much affiliated with the kind of water flow in the forest. And it just comes, bing, solution. Just happens from there. So I make sure that that's wound into my week. So especially like if I can take a one day at the weekend to go for a big walk, that's where solutions really come in from that. And these are things that you learn and become habits, don't they, as part of what you're doing? You need to build them into your business and your structure in a way. Not take them for granted.
With as much technology as we have around nowadays, all the screens and stuff, I think, they can teach us loads and they're brilliant, but we do need to take that time away from them, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Keep set up really tall.
Yeah.
So you can be the same height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
No,
I
I
am really
think
tall.
that when I was at Apple, Steve Jobs was still alive and he refused to give his children devices. And there's something in that, right? The kids only had one iPad that they would get an associated amount of time that they would use at that. And then obviously he passed away and the company changed and I left the company after that time, and because the role that I was doing changed at that time as well. But what I've seen over the last kind of 10 to 15 years now, no, it's mostly 10 years, is this habitual use of a distraction. And I think that goes back to when you said, Katie, around look at what you're using on your phone, right? How much time are you spending on those apps, on those distraction techniques to take us away from the things that are going to get us towards our goals, that passionate life, that healthy lifestyle, that thriving business, that's kind of family time that you have together without sacrificing it all. We have to sacrifice our addiction to our devices.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And see that, don't you? Any doctor's surgery, waiting room, bus stop, people walking along the street.
Yeah.
Like
and
bikes. Bikes are my pet peeve with it.
Oh, yeah, bikes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? But, even walking along, like, there will be times when I'll do it. So I'm not criticising anybody that does it. I think the question is it intentional, though? Is it just what did you just call it then? Just a distraction?
Yeah, distraction.
Is it just like because I don't know what else to do. I'm so used to picking up my phone and having a look at it. So I've got to hold it and I've got to do it.
That perhaps you need to break or rejig a bit.
Yeah. Or is it that from a business, it'd be a really great moment to record a live or a reel that I've thought of something or something's happened and I want to document that. I'm going to record it and I'm going to do it whilst I'm walking around. Or have I got 5 or 6 voice notes that I can send out to people and communicate, build relationships, build rapport, and I can do that whilst I'm walking 10 minutes from here to there, wherever it is.
That's it.
That's really intentional, and that's very different to just you see the kids now. Like, what are they doing that's intentional? They're just looking at TikTok videos or scrolling or just really distracted. It's dangerous if you're not really intentional, really focused about what your purpose is, and that awareness then will go, hang on, what am I doing on my phone? I'll put it down because I'm not being intentional right now.
Because we talk about the technology being a tool. It's a tool to help you get to achieve. It's not there as a replacement. It's there to be able to help to work with you. You have to treat it like an employee. You have to treat it like something that you need to nurture in the same way to get the best out of it, so it can be set up efficiently to work for you and not distract you from, so you can still live your life and things like that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all part of the whole kind of setup. It sounds like you've got as well with the business.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more, because we're almost at the end of our kind of hour that we've got together. So tell us how people work with you. Tell us a little bit more about what your mentoring programs are, because I suppose that's where you get quite a lot from working with people in that sense. Will you get a lot back yourself from doing those?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So we're both, we're both qualified coaches and NLP practitioners. So we help people to sort of. Oh, sorry, this is falling out of my ear. It's rejected it.
We're nearly there. No,
Yeah.
it'll come out soon.
Your ear has done well to
It has.
handle it for so long.
Yeah. I've just. Yeah. Sorry. Do you want to start that bit again?
No, you're
Sorry.
okay. On you go.
What was I saying?
How do you help
Practitioners,
people?
coaches, how we help people.
We're both qualified coaches. We're both NLP practitioners. We've got some, various different qualifications that we've brought all together. So there's a few different ways to work with this. They're limited. We have the Wealthy Life Playbook, which is a free resource that will always be free, which we'd like to offer to all the listeners. We have a free masterclass that's coming up, don't we, on the 20th of August? I'm not sure when this is going out. So obviously if it goes out afterwards, you'll have to look for the next one. But that's a free masterclass because there's so many people that are draining their energy on everything else rather than what they should be draining their energy on, or rather than what they should be focusing on. That masterclass is to help them double their revenue. Other ways to work with us: we hold strategy days like 3 times in a year.
Quarterly. Yeah.
4 times in a year. We hold strategy days, which in person in Birmingham. If you're local, come and get along. They're not very much, like 150 quid. But we also we have a mastermind.
Yeah, we have a mastermind and one-to-one coaching as well.
So generally that's sort of how you can work with this. But it really depends on how you want to, like, what energy do you need right now? Do you just need us? Because if you just need a handhold, then that's the one-to-one thing. But if you want to get around the group of entrepreneurs, then the mastermind is great for that. We've got a new cohort starting in September. And yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? Because they're all a bunch of entrepreneurs who are looking to scale. And yeah, we're really looking forward to supporting them, aren't we?
So you've got a Facebook group as well, right? That people can join to be able to
Yes.
to join that community and get to know you better, as well as the other people that are in your community as well.
We do,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. That's called the Bloom Lounge for your wealthy life. Obviously, there's a play on the name there because why not? But yeah, for your wealthy life, because everybody's wealthy life will look different. Everybody's, and sort of come and take what you want, give something back in that Facebook group. I mean, Facebook groups they used to be a big thing, didn't they? But maybe perhaps they're not maybe so much anymore. But we like to have that as a community and that's a free place where you can come and ask us a question, or there's some resources that we put in there as well.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I love the fact that your name is Bloom and Bloomfield. So it works really well how you're growing and blooming and evolving, not just yourself, but other people as part of it as well. So I can only see a much abundance coming from just your name and the people that you work with as well. So the link to get to the Wealthy Life Playbook is bloomfields.life/your-wealthy-life-playbook, and that's accessible in the show notes below. So please go and join their community and get that structure in your life. So last thing that I ask guests to do is, what are some 3 tips that you can give to people to be able to help them get whatever it is that you share? So what 3 tips can you share with them today?
Do you want 3 each?
Yeah, go for it. Go whatever you want.
Okay, I'll go
Whatever
first
you
then.
think.
But actually, you've got longer to think about it, then, haven't you? Because we weren't prepped for this. 3 tips. Okay, first of all, I would say, what does your 10 out of 10 look like? Actually, it's not tips, it's homework. It's homework. So I want you to go and get intentional about it. So what does your 10 out of 10 look like for each of those 5 areas? Second one, I want you to go to your phone and I want you to look at where you're spending the time. How much time have you spent with that phone in your hand today? And whereabouts, like, where are you spending it? Because if you're on Facebook for 5 hours, I'll come and smack your hand. The third one is probably, this is a tip. If you're feeling a bit overwhelmed with everything, just write it down, like do a bit of a brain dump. Get everything out and then start to intentionally, what do you need to, like, what do you need to do now? What doesn't need to be done and you can just bin off? And what can you do tomorrow or next? So yeah, they're my 3 tips.
Great.
Good.
What have you got?
Like that, didn't you? How quick I just came up with them.
Unbelievable, yeah. I'm not surprised. It was great. Okay, so number 1 is download the Your Wealthy Life Playbook, because there is so much in there that will really help guide you through it. And it's super easy to do. You just need to do the thing. Number 2 is it's a really super easy exercise, but it's powerful. So grab a sheet of paper, and on one side, the left-hand side of it, split it in half, draw a line down. Left-hand side with a red pen, write "don't want" at the top, and then draw a line under it. And on the right-hand side, in a blue or green if you've got it, and if not black, write "wants" on the right-hand side of it. And start writing a list of all of the things that you don't want first. So what you don't want to be, what you don't want to have, what you don't want to be doing, and what you don't want to be around. So all of the things, I think as human nature, we find it easy to say what we don't want a lot easier. So write all them things. So I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want to be ill. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to, all of these things, list them all down. And then once you've done that and exhausted that list, do the opposite on the right-hand side of that page under wants with a different color pen that you're using, and put all of the things that you want. So what do you want to have? What do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? What do you want to be around? What do you want life to look like, feel like, be like? And write all of those things and go crazy with it. Be really free and creative, and be really, I don't want to use the word don't because our brain can't do a don't. So think about the things that might just be dreams at the moment. But if it's something you've wanted, feel confident in writing that down and free enough to write it down, rather than thinking, I can't really put that because I shouldn't really. If you want it, you want it. Put it down. And that will help your brain again work out, okay, here's some of the things that we're trying to head to. The third thing is, what is the third thing for me? Default diary is possibly one. So it is looking at your time again. So Katie's talked about that. And just start looking at what your perfect week would look like. So what would you be doing on each of these days? What would a perfect week look like just at the moment? And it will change. But what does it look like in terms of work, family time, health stuff? You might like reading. You might like going for walks. You might want to see your parents or children or whatever it is. Just start jotting down what an ideal life, a week would look like for you in the perfect world. And then try to live in alignment with that as often as you can.
Yeah, brilliant. What a double dunt, is that the right word to use? A double amount of great tips to be able to share with everyone that's listening. I could chat with you both for hours. You've got such a wealth of knowledge to share with people, and you've just got so much abundance and light and energy coming through the screen as well, which is very rare. So thank you so much for the conversation today. It's been an absolute honour to speak to you both.
Thank you for having us.
And I look forward to seeing what is happening next and to all the other people that you're helping with. So thank you so much, Danny and Katie, for having me today.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Digital Dominators. I hope today's episode gave you something practical, or at least a bit of a boost to keep things going in this mad digital world. If you're enjoying the podcast, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up. There's loads more good stuff on the way and some brilliant guests lined up too. And if you fancy going a bit deeper, come and join the Digital Dominators community. It's totally free, and it's where I share bonus trainings, podcast extras, and tools to help you build confidence with your digital skills. You'll also get access to my social media prompt calendar, so you can finally stop staring at that blank screen wondering what to post. Just head to technologycoachingonline.com/digitaldominators to get started. Alright, that's it from me just now. Stay curious, keep showing up, and I'll catch you in the next one.